They say that the world belongs to the young. They tell us that once you hit 65, it is time to take a back seat and just watch the world go by. But they are wrong. They are so very wrong. You have worked hard. You have paid your dues. You have built a life from the ground up. And now you are finally in the golden hour. If you are between the ages of 65 and 80, and you still possess these 5 specific things in your life, then you aren't just getting older, you are actually winning. Most people look at a bank account or a house to see if they are successful, but you and I know the truth. True success at 70 or 80 is found in how you feel, how you move, and who you have by your side. Let's take a look at your life together. Let's see if you have the 5 pillars of a life well lived. Because if you do, you are doing much better than you think. You are thriving, you are vibrant, and you are doing life exactly right. 1. A village of deep, genuine connections. You know, when we were in our 20s and 30s, life felt like a crowded room. We were always chasing the next big thing. We wanted to be popular. We wanted a huge circle of friends. We wanted to know everyone at the office and everyone in the neighborhood. It was all about the numbers, the quantity, the sheer volume of people in our lives. But now, between the ages of 65 and 80, the game has changed, and it has changed beautifully. The metric for a successful life has shifted. It's no longer about how many people are in your phone's contact list. No, it is about the quality of those people. It is about having a village. Think about that word for a moment, a village. It might be a lifelong friend who has seen you at your best and your absolute worst. It might be a close-knit family that checks in just to hear your voice. Or maybe it's a new group of neighbors who have become your chosen family. If you still have these deep, genuine connections, you're doing life right. You really are. Science tells us something very important about this. Positive social connections are like medicine. They are linked to lower stress levels. They help keep our minds sharp. They keep our hearts young. When you have a village, you have a safety net. You have people you can call when you just need a good laugh or a helping hand with a heavy box. You aren't just drifting through the years alone. You are anchored. You are nourished. Let me tell you about a friend of mine named Robert. Robert is 74. He spent 35 years as a high school teacher. He was always surrounded by noise, laughter, shouting, energy. But when he retired, the silence in his house felt heavy. It felt too quiet. At first, Robert started to pull away. He stayed inside. He watched a lot of TV. He felt like the world was moving on without him. But then, Robert made a choice. He decided he wasn't done yet. He found a local men's shed group in his town. Now, if you haven't heard of a men's shed, it's a wonderful place. It's a shop where guys get together to work on wood projects. They tinker, they fix things, they build birdhouses and benches. But Robert will be the first to tell you, it's not really about the wood, not at all. He told me once, I go there for the sawdust, but I stay for the stories. Every Tuesday, Robert is there. He's working shoulder to shoulder with other men his age. They talk about their grandkids. They talk about the old days. They laugh about their mistakes. That weekly connection gave Robert something he thought he had lost. It gave him a sense of belonging. It gave him a purpose. Robert isn't just getting older. He is thriving because he found his tribe. He found his village. So, how do we keep our own villages strong? It doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, simple is better. First, try scheduling a standing date. Maybe it's a Tuesday morning coffee at the local diner or a Sunday evening phone call with your sister. Don't leave it to chance. Don't say, we should get together soon. Pick a time. Stick to it. When you have a routine, the connection stays alive without the stress of planning. It becomes a part of your life, a beautiful, reliable part. Second, I want to challenge you. Reach out to one person this week. Just one. Someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Maybe a friend from your old job or a cousin you lost touch with. You don't need a big reason. You don't need a holiday. Just a simple message. I was thinking of you. That's it. Those 5 simple words can reinforce a bridge you've spent years building. Connection, meaning, quality. If you have these things, if you have people who truly know you, then you are rich. You are successful. You are doing life exactly right. 2. An unquenchable sense of curiosity. Have you ever noticed that some people just seem bright? I don't mean the lights in the room. I mean the light in their eyes. When I sit down with someone in their 70s, I can tell almost immediately if they are truly thriving. It isn't about their bank account. It isn't even about their physical health. It is about that spark, that itch to know more, that curiosity. If you still find yourself asking, why? Or, how does that work? Then I have great news for you. Your brain is not just working, your brain is thriving. In the world of psychology, we call this having a beginner's mind. It is a beautiful way to live. Think about it. A beginner's mind. It means you are open, you are humble, you are ready to see the world as if for the very first time. Between the ages of 65 and 80, this is your secret weapon. Curiosity acts as a natural defense. It protects you against mental stagnation. It keeps your mind sharp, like a fine tool that never gets rusty because it is always being used. Whether you are learning how to use a new app on your phone, or exploring a period of history you never understood, or even trying your hand at watercolor painting for the very first time, that interest matters. It matters a lot. That little spark of interest keeps your neural pathways firing. It keeps your daily life feeling vibrant and new. Let me tell you about Susan. Susan is 68 years old. She lives in a quiet suburb, and for most of her life, she was a busy accountant. Numbers, spreadsheets, deadlines. That was her world. When she retired, she felt a bit lost. But then, she felt a tiny pull, an itch she hadn't scratched in 40 years. She had always loved old stories, stories about ancient cities buried under the sand. So, Susan did something brave. She walked into the local community college and enrolled in an archaeology course. She wasn't looking for a new career. No, she wasn't trying to get a degree to put on her wall. She was simply following her curiosity. I remember talking to her after her first month of classes. Her voice was different. It was full of energy. She told me about the professors. She told me about the different types of ancient pottery. But most importantly, she had fresh topics to discuss at Sunday dinner. Her grandkids were leaning in. They were fascinated. They weren't just listening to Grandma. They were listening to a student of the world. Susan found a renewed sense of wonder. She realized that when you remain a student of life, you never truly grow old. You simply become more knowledgeable. You become more interesting. You see? Curiosity is a choice, and it is a choice that pays off every single day. So, how can you fuel your own curiosity? First, I want you to visit your local library, not just for the books you usually read. I want you to go once a month and pick a book from a section you have never, ever explored. Maybe it's astronomy. Maybe it's a biography of a jazz musician from the 1920s. Maybe it's a book on how to grow organic tomatoes. Just pick it up. Flip through the pages. Let yourself wonder. The library is a treasure chest, and you have the key. Second, I want you to embrace technology with a playful attitude. I know, technology can feel frustrating sometimes. It can feel like it's moving too fast. But try to look at it as an adventure. The next time you see a younger family member, a grandchild or a niece, ask them to show you one new feature on your phone. Or ask them to find a fun podcast for you to listen to while you walk or garden. Don't worry about doing it wrong. There is no wrong when you are exploring. Just play. Ask questions. How do I send a voice message? How do I find music from my favorite era? When you ask these questions, you are exercising your brain. You are staying connected to the modern world. Curiosity, it is the fountain of youth that sits right between your ears. If you are still curious, if you are still wondering about the world around you, then you are doing life exactly right. You are staying vibrant. You are staying young at heart, and that is a beautiful thing to see. 3. Functional mobility and the joy of movement. Now, I want to talk about something very important, something that often gets misunderstood as we get older. I am talking about our physical freedom. In our culture, we see a lot of commercials for fitness. We see people in their 20s running marathons. We see people at the gym lifting heavy weights, and sometimes we might think, well, that's just not me anymore. But let me tell you a secret. Doing life right at 75, it does not mean you need to be an athlete. It does not mean you need to be training for a race. Not at all. What it really means is something much more beautiful. We call it functional mobility. Functional mobility. It is a simple phrase, but it carries so much power. It is the ability to move through your day with independence. It is the ability to move with ease. If you can still walk through a local park on a crisp autumn morning, you are doing life right. If you can reach for a dinner dish on a high shelf in your kitchen, you are doing life right. And if you can get down on the floor to play with your grandchildren, even if you have to get back up a little bit slowly, you have a treasure, a physical treasure. You see, movement is like oil. It is the oil for our joints, and it is the fuel for our mood. When we move, our bodies release those wonderful feel-good chemicals called endorphins. They keep us optimistic. They keep us feeling like we are still in the game. Let me tell you about a man I know named Arthur. Arthur is 79 years old. Now, Arthur is not trying to win any medals. He isn't trying to break any world records, but every single morning, without fail, Arthur spends 20 minutes doing gentle stretches in his living room. Then, he clips a leash onto his golden retriever, and they walk around the block. Just one block. He isn't training for the Olympics, but because he does that small amount of movement, Arthur Cano does the things he loves. Last summer, he took a trip to visit his family across the country. He spent the whole afternoon gardening in his backyard. He can do these things without pain. He can do them because he keeps moving. This level of physical freedom is a massive win. A massive win. It preserves your liberty. It allows you to say yes to life's adventures, whether that adventure is a trip to the mall or a flight to see a new city. So, how can we keep our bodies moving in a way that feels good? First, I want you to think about what I call incidental movement. This is a movement that just happens during your day. You don't have to put on gym clothes for this. Maybe it's taking the stairs instead of the elevator if it's only one floor. Or, here is a fun one. Try doing some calf raises while you're brushing your teeth. Just lift your heels up and down, up and down. These tiny moments of effort add up. They keep your muscles awake. They keep your balance steady. Second, I want you to find a gentle activity that you actually enjoy. This is the key. It has to be fun. Maybe you love the feeling of being in the water. Swimming is a gift to your joints. It feels like you are weightless. Or maybe you would like to try Tai Chi. It is like a slow, graceful dance. It helps with balance and it calms the mind. Some people love chair yoga. You stay seated, you stay safe, but you still stretch and breathe. Think of these activities as a gift you are giving to your future self. Every time you take a walk, every time you stretch your arms toward the sky, you are saying yes to your freedom. You are keeping your world large. You are keeping your life full of possibilities. If you can move through your day with a sense of ease, If you can still do the things that bring you joy, then you are rich, you are successful, you are doing life exactly right. 4. A daily reason to get up. Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up, the sun is just starting to peek through the curtains, and for a second, you wonder what the day is for? In our working years, the what was always decided for us. We had to be at the office by 8. We had to get the kids to school. We had to finish that report. We had a schedule that pulled us out of bed, whether we liked it or not. But now, in this beautiful window between 65 and 80, the schedule is yours, and that is a wonderful gift. But it can also be a little bit quiet. If you still have a clear sense of purpose, a reason to put your feet on the floor every single morning, then you are doing life exactly right. There is a beautiful word from Japan that I love. It is called ikigai. Ikigai. It translates roughly to a reason for being, or more simply, your reason to get out of bed. Now, when I say the word purpose, I don't want you to think it has to be some grand, world-changing mission. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a job. Purpose, real purpose, is found in the small things. It might be the way you tend to your rose bushes in the backyard, making sure they have just enough water and care. It might be your commitment to the local food bank on Thursday mornings. Or maybe you are the family historian, the one who keeps the stories and the traditions alive for the next generation. Purpose is the framework for your days. It is the secret ingredient that prevents what people call the retirement slump. It keeps your spirit engaged. It keeps you connected to the world. Let me tell you about a woman I admire. Her name is Elaine. Elaine is 72 years old. She worked in retail for 40 years. When she stopped working, she felt a little bit invisible. She felt like the world was moving very fast, and she was just standing still. But then, Elaine started going to the local library, just to get out of the house. She noticed that the children's section was always busy, but the librarians were overworked. So, Elaine volunteered. Now, 2 afternoons a week, Elaine sits in a big, comfortable chair in the corner of that library. She reads stories to the neighborhood children. I talked to her last week. Her eyes were just dancing. She told me, "You know, when I see those kids' faces light up, when they lean in to hear the next page, I feel like I matter." Elaine isn't just retired. She is an essential part of her community's fabric. She is a teacher, a storyteller, a friend. She told me that on the days she goes to the library, she wakes up earlier. She picks out her favorite colorful scarf. She feels relevant. And that is the key. Relevance. If you wake up knowing that someone or something benefits from your presence, you are not just surviving, you are thriving. So, how can you find or strengthen your own sense of purpose? First, I want you to try something tomorrow morning. Identify one small mission for your day. Just one. It could be writing a long overdue letter to an old friend. It could be finally organizing that box of photos from the 1980s. Or it could be something as simple as making a really good meal for yourself or a neighbor. Give your day a focal point, a center. When you have a mission, you have a direction. Second, look at the skills you have spent a lifetime building. You have so much wisdom, so much experience. Think about how you can share that. Maybe a local nonprofit needs help with administrative tasks. Maybe a young person in your church or community center needs a mentor, someone who can just listen and offer a bit of perspective. When you use your skills to help others, your purpose grows. Purpose. It is the heartbeat of a life well lived. If you have a reason to get up, if you have something that makes you feel needed and proud, then you are doing life exactly right. You are a vital part of the world, and we are so glad you are here. 5. The gratitude filter and emotional resilience. By the time you reach this stage of the journey, whether you are 65, 70, or 80 years old, you have seen a lot. You really have. Think back for a moment. You have navigated so many of life's storms. Some of those storms were small, just a bit of rain, but some were very big. They were the kind of challenges that tested everything you knew. And yet, here you are still standing, you are still moving forward. If you have emerged from those years with the ability to focus on what you have rather than what you lack, then you have achieved something truly incredible. I call it emotional mastery. It is the gratitude filter. Think about that for a second. A filter. It's like a pair of glasses that helps you see the light, even when things feel a bit gray. This filter allows you to slow down. It allows you to savor the moments that most people just rush right past. It's the beauty of a sunset over the neighbor's roof. It's the warmth of a good cup of tea in your favorite mug. It's that quiet, deep moment of peace when the house is still. This isn't just about being polite or nice. No, it is a sign of resilience. It is the capacity to acknowledge that life has challenges, but choosing to dwell on the light anyway. Let me tell you about David. David is 76. He has a very simple habit. Every single night, just before he turns out the lamp on his nightstand, David reaches for a small blue notebook. He doesn't write a novel. He doesn't write a long diary entry. He just writes down 3 simple things he enjoyed that day. I asked him once, "David, what do you write when you've had a bad day?" He looked at me and smiled. He said, "Those are the nights when the notebook is most important." He told me about a day when his car wouldn't start and he missed an appointment. He was frustrated, he was tired, but that night, he sat down and he thought. He wrote down, the sound of the birds at 5 p.m., a very cold glass of water, and the fact that my neighbor offered to give me a ride tomorrow. You see, David has trained his brain. He has coached himself to look for the positive, even on days that feel mundane or annoying. This shift in perspective is a superpower. It really is. It is a superpower that turns an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. If you can still find reasons to be thankful, then you are winning at life. You are doing it right. So, how can we build our own gratitude filter? First, I want you to practice something I call the pause. When you experience a small moment of beauty or a tiny act of kindness from a stranger, don't just let it go. Stop. Stop for 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds. Really feel that appreciation in your body. Notice how the sun feels on your skin, or how good that first sip of coffee tastes. By pausing, you are telling your brain, this matters, this is good. Second, I want you to try the counter. When you are faced with a minor frustration, like a long line at the grocery store, or a rainy day that cancels your plans, try to counter it. Think of one positive thing about your current life. The line is long, but I'm healthy enough to stand in it. It's raining, but my garden really needs the water. This helps you maintain your emotional balance. It keeps you from getting pulled down by the small things. Gratitude, mastery, resilience. These are the markers of a life well lived. If you can look around your world and say, thank you for the small joys, then you are rich beyond measure. You are thriving, you are wise, and you are exactly where you need to be. Well, we have walked through all 5 pillars together. If you looked at this list and said to yourself, yes, I have that, then I want you to take a deep breath and just smile. You have built something truly beautiful. You have built a life of deep meaning. Don't let the noise of the world tell you that your best days are behind you. They are not. They are right here. They are right now. You have the wisdom, you have the heart, and you have the strength. Before you go, I really want to hear from you. Which of these 5 things are you most proud of today? Is it your village? Or maybe your sense of curiosity? Please, tell me your story in the comments below. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this message touched your heart, please give it a like and subscribe too. Stay part of our community. We have so much more to share with you. Until next time, take care of yourself. Keep moving, keep wondering, and keep shining. You are doing life exactly right.